Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's time for the daily Ulti versus Alt-Y versus Blox versus K-Yield report. See what's going on. All right. First of all, let's look at the daily change. The market's up this morning, and all of these stocks are as well. Blox is up 1.65. I just pulled this report 5 minutes ago. The market's doing well. Everything's up. Anyway, ULTI from Rex is up 1.6. GPTY is up 0.8. Chippy's up. K-Yield is up 3/4 of a point. QLDY is up about 3/4 of a point. Even Alt-Y from YieldMax is up about half a point. LFGY is the only one on the chart that's down. On a total return basis, ULTI, even after this morning's, and yesterday's good news, is still down about 29%, but it's catching up. Blox is down about 21%, and this is since inception. So basically for the month of November, because K-Yield and ULTI from Rex came out the last day of October. So since they came out, since their inception, Blox is down 21%, ULTI is down 30% or 29%. Then we have LFGY is just on here for comparison purposes. ULTY is down 14%, and K-Yield is down 11.3%. Great job, K-Yield. All right, now let's look at the individual trades and the new additions into the portfolios from this morning. I pulled these reports last night and this morning. There's no significant changes on Blox. So the option positions are the same as they were yesterday. They're the same as yesterday. That's the stock positions are the same as yesterday. The option positions do change. Let's look at the option positions and see if we have anything new. On this BitMine immersion, we have multiple tranches of put spreads. We've sold the 32.5 puts. We've sold the 770s, and we've sold the 29.5s. But then we've bought the 30s, 30.5s, and the 25s and 29s. BitMine immersion. They've just tranched their lightning spreads out. Bull still has a put spread. They're short the 8.5s, long the 7.5s. That's pretty much the same thing on all of these. Cipher mining, they all have put spreads where they're supposed to, except put spreads plus stocks. So that's otherwise known as lightning spread. They have that on all their individual stock positions. On their ETF positions where they own ETHA, which is Ethereum, or Fidelity is, what's that one? FBTC. They actually have call spreads on those. For instance, on Ethereum, they sold the 23.5 call. They bought the 25 call, bringing a little bit of income and still have a little bit of upside if Ethereum or if this ETF should go above 25. Same thing with Fidelity. They sold the 79, bought the 84s. So they have uncapped upside in FBTC above 84. In addition to that, they have on HODL, they don't have any options sold. And then on Hood, they have one stray call, and I don't know where that came from. Interesting. Well, looks like they're long a Robinhood call from at 50. 494 of them. That kind of breaks with the way they usually do it. We'll keep an eye on that. I bet that's an error in the data or something. I bet that's supposed to be a put. There's no way they're just going to have one call in Robinhood. I'm just not buying it. All right. Well, the market up, maybe it'll work out. I don't know, but I don't think that's the thing. All right. In ULT, this is ULT, or this is K-Yield from Curve. No significant changes in holdings. So the stock positions are the same as yesterday. The biggest holding is Teradyne. They have some gold and silver miners, some defense contractors, some treasury bills, Coinbase, Roblox, kind of the same usual suspects. All right, so for the option positions, let's see what they're doing. Selling cover calls on AMD, Broadcom, Bloom Energy. They have on a debit spread, and they don't have stock in Bloom Energy. They, instead of having stock, they're using options as a surrogate for Bloom Energy. They are long Bloom Energy through this deep in the money call at 50, and then they're short the 106 strike to help, the 106 call strike to help offset some of the premium that this deep in the money cost. In any event, BitMine Immersion, they have covered call. It looks like all of these are covered calls, except for IBIT. IBIT is a long synthetic, so they're long Bitcoin through IBIT. They bought a call, sold a put. And then on the Qs, they have a volatility strangle. They're long and out of the money call, long and out of the money put. These don't expire till December 19th. So they're just betting on volatility. But then on Roblox, Reddit, Shopify, Teradyne, it looks like covered calls. Okay, so that's pretty standard for K-Yield. Now let's look at ULTI from Rex. Let's see if they had any changes. Well, they dropped some T-bonds and they added some, or T-bill. They dropped some T-bills and their cash holdings went up from 5 to 9, probably because they dropped these T-bills, because it's about 4 is the difference here. Yeah, that's probably what happened. So in any event, let's look at the stock positions. So those are the same as yesterday. Cash is a big position, 9%, but then we have the usual suspects: Cipher, Iron, Credo, Applied Digital, TerraWolf, Bloom Energy, AST Space Mobile, Astera Lab, Galaxy Digital, Core Scientific, Bullish, Rocket Lab, EOS Energy, Lucid, Symbotic, Oklo, USA Rare Earth, Sunrun, Nanonuclear, C3 AI, and let's look for their option positions. Now, these guys usually do these 4-leg spreads or 4-leg income overlays, and they usually have double long puts on the out of the money. That turns this income overlay into a collarized type of trade. That's the case today. They have AIs hedged, Astera's hedged, on Applied Digital. It looks like they've sold a call at 21 and they bought a further out of the money call at 23.5. Then in addition to that, they have bought a put. So that's hedged. I was saying yesterday these 3-leg strategies aren't hedged. I think I was wrong. So on Applied Digital, they sold 139 calls. They bought 139 further out of the money calls. And then they bought 139 puts. Yeah, that's hedged. So they're hedged on all these. I was wrong when I said the 3-leg ones weren't hedged. Anyway, Applied Digital is a 3-leg one. ASTS is your typical 4. That's their typical 4-leg collar that has double long out of the money puts. That one's hedged. They're hedged on all of these. Bloom Energy, they're hedged under the 76 level. Bullish, they have on the 4-leg strategy. They're hedged under the 36 level. Cipher Mining, they are on Cipher Mining. They have sold calls and bought puts. So that's a collar. So that's hedged also. They're hedged under the 12 level. On CORZ, They have the 3-leg strategy, but that leaves them hedged under the, let's see, on this one, they sold a call, they sold a put, and then they bought twice as many puts. Okay, on Course, they're hedged under the 13.5 strike. On Credo, they are hedged under 118. EOSC, they're hedged under 11. Galaxy, they're hedged under 21. Iron, they are hedged at 37. They can't lose any more than down to the 37 price in Iron or Strike. After that, they're hedged. On Lucid, they're hedged at the 11 level. On NNE, they are hedged at the 27 level. Oklo, they are hedged. Let's see, in Oklo, yeah, they are hedged under 80. Rocket Labs, they are hedged under 37. Sunrun, they are hedged under, let's see here. Sunrun, they are hedged at the 20 level. Oh, no. Sunrun, they are hedged at the they sold a call and sold a put at Sunrun at 18. And then they bought a call at 20. But it looks like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I missed this one. They're hedged under 16.5 on Sunrun. On Symbotic, they're hedged under 44. On USAR, they're hedged under 11. On Wolf, they are hedged under the 10 level. Okay, so now let's go over here to ULTY from YieldMax. Let's see if they've had any changes in holdings. Okay, they have. They've had some major changes. These are the stocks they've added. They've added Palantir, Robinhood, GDX, Broadcom. These look familiar, though. Now, these are new ones. They added Gold, they added Lilly, they added IBM, they added SoFi, they added Quanta Services, which is ticker PWR. They added Morgan Stanley, American Express, Lam Research, NewScale Power, and Twilio. And they dropped Astera Labs, Iron, and Affirm. Okay, then on the option positions in these things. All right. In Alphabet, they have on their 3-leg collar. That leaves them hedged under 295. In American Express, they have on the 3-leg collar hedged under 345. In Broadcom, sold a call and bought a put, so they're hedged under 340. Coinbase, they sold a call, bought a put, so they're hedged under the 205 level. In Circle, they're hedged at 62. And Eli Lilly, they have on the 3-leg strategy, but they're hedged under 1030, 1030. GDX, they have on the 4-leg strategy, but they are hedged. Or no, I'm sorry, in GDX, they are hedged under 70. In GLD, they are hedged under 360. Hood is a standard collar, a 2-leg collar. They're hedged under 92. They sold the 117 strike to buy the 92. Sold the 117 call to buy the 92. In IBIT, they are, see, in IBIT, they're hedged under the 44 strike and the 42.5 strike. So they have 2 tranches. In IBM, they have losses limited to 287.5. Lam Research, they're hedged at 135. Facebook, they're hedged at 570. Morgan Stanley, they're hedged at Well, Morgan Stanley. Okay, they're hedged at 155. Palantir, they're hedged at 135. In Quanta Services, they have losses defined under 370. Okay, now in the Qs, what did they do here? They sold a call. Yesterday I said they were just straight long in the Qs. I didn't, they weren't. They do own stock in the Qs, and they sold the 630 strike call, and they bought the 560 strike put. So they have a caller on in the NASDAQ. They're hedged under 560. They can't lose under 560. I can't lose any additional money. SMR, they have a conventional two-leg caller on. They're hedged under 16. See, SoFi, they have losses defined under 23. TMF, which is a bond ETF, they have conventional two-leg collar. They're hedged under 36. And Twilio, they sold the 126 strike call to buy the 110 strike put. So they have losses defined in Twilio under 110. Let's go and see how these are trading right now. These are live quotes. So you can see this clump of results was yesterday's results. Here's today's. So we're off on a good foot. LFGY, out of all these ones that we follow, including the four we're talking about now, they're all up. They're all up at this point in the day. ULTI is up, or ULTY from Yieldmax is up 0.5 point. Blox is up nearly a point. K Yield is up 1.5 points. And we can't really see ULTI on there. It must be unchanged. ULTI is right here. And yes, it is showing unchanged right now at this point in the day. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll be back Friday morning with the same report. The Friday morning report will be based on the changes they make after the bell today, but then we'll look at it Friday morning when the market opens, and we'll also see how they're all doing. Let's look at the market really quick. I mean, we had a small gap this morning in the Qs, and it looks like it's still holding as of right now. We'll see how long it lasts, but in any event, that's good. Also, though, today's high was 614, which was exactly where the high was last Thursday. I mean, it looked like it stopped to the penny where the high was last Thursday, for whatever that's worth. That was the day that, or maybe last Friday, but that was the day that Nvidia hit earnings and then fell. Anyway, we achieved the same high this morning. Will they sell it again? Who knows? We'll see. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.